Great.
We love to see it.
Moving on, we have another segment today we're pretty excited about that we dreamed up a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's called Rob's Hot Cakes. It's like hot takes, except I'm going to give you a hot take, and Candace is going to eat hot cakes. Candy loves the pancakes, and even more than that, she loves chocolate chip pancakes. So I think we have some for her today.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Woo!
We'll bring him in. Thanks, Uncle Kyle.
Uncle Kyle. Oh,
You're going to have a very interested dog, so this will always be a 3-way segment, apparently. We're going to see if this is possible for us to do a segment where I'm actually trying to talk, you're eating, and Genie is over there trying to be a part of things.
Right.
So here, just to give you a little space, you can take this, and then we'll, if you have to chime in, because feel free. But
okay, I'm ready.
I don't know how interested you're going to be. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the hot take. All right. Go. Okay. So this week, Grand Theft Auto Online had a new update called The Contract. This is a downloadable thing that's free if you've played the game. It's been out for like 8 years. And it featured Dr. Dre as like a CGI version of him playing himself in the game, right? Not only that, in this update, Dr. Dre released new music that is only available right now in this video game. So let's back up a little bit. If you don't give a shit about video games at all, that's fine. I'm going to talk about why I think it's relevant to everybody. How the pancakes. Fuck yeah, right? This is everybody wins. So here's the deal. I think this is part of a bigger conversation we're having about this whole metaverse thing that is on everybody's minds. And I think it also relates to NFTs, if you know what that is. So here's the deal. Fucking putting stuff into a video game to sell things is not new, okay? That's super old. They've been doing that forever. They just had a special that was released, I think exclusively on YouTube, of John Oliver, and he was talking about video games that were released in the 90s that were made by cereal companies, and they would put the game on a CD-ROM in the box of cereal in order to sell the cereal. So you would see a commercial, and it would be like, hey, there's a video game that comes with the box, so when you go to the supermarket, tell your mom to get this cereal. And they sold like outrageous numbers of it. So that's not a brand new thing. But it's never been a perpetual, consistent way to cross over mainstream culture with video game culture. They have these like one-off trends where like for a while they make a video game that sells fucking cereal or something. Every now and then there was a game that had a bunch of rappers in it called Def Jam Fight for New York years ago. And they had some other sequels and prequels maybe where they had like Snoop Dogg and everybody like fight each other. It was like a wrestling video game. It was super fun. And maybe it introduced some people to some new artists. Guitar Hero maybe introduced you to some new music. But this is different. This is an artist in real life showing up in a video game as a digital version of themselves and showing you a fictional narrative where they create this new music and they make it available exclusively in this video game to experience in only this digital way. So recently, Mark Zuckerberg had his big Meta conference after they announced they're going to change Facebook to Meta, and he talked about a bunch of different stuff. They talked about VR and the metaverse, which, as they explain it and as best this guy can understand it, is we're all supposed to put on VR headsets and show up and hang out with each other in a world that is virtual that Mark Zuckerberg made. And that does sound not good. And when I hear people talk about it in a negative way, I totally understand what they're talking about. They're like, the metaverse, Zuckerverse, don't want to do that. Fuck that. Suck that. Totally understand where they're coming from. But let me tell you, put it in Los Santos, put it in a Grand Theft Auto reality, and now all of a sudden I'm very interested in the idea of living in this world where it sounds like I can hang out with Dr. Dre. I already played this content, okay? I played through it this week as soon as it came out. I'm getting through it a little bit with Uncle Kyle. It's so fucking cool, babe. Literally, the storyline is Dr. Dre shows up at the golf course. You start talking to this guy about how his phone got stolen. You have to track the phone down. You do all these super fun missions driving around the city. You bring his phone back that has the unreleased music on it. At the end of this multi-hour thing where you work with him and you're at the music studio, the last mission, spoiler alert, it's not really, I mean, you can see where it's fucking going if you're paying any attention. But on the last mission, you got it all solved, and he's like, hey, I need a ride back to my house. And Dr. Dre gets in the car with your digital character. And he's like, drive me back to the house, and I'm going to play you a song nobody's heard yet. And I got to drive in a like tricked out sports car through the fake Hollywood hills with Dr. Dre in the passenger seat while he like bumped a track I've never heard before that no one else has ever heard before unless they've played this game and done this exact thing. That's a unique experience. That is some next level shit. And if I had done it in a VR headset and literally looked over and like seen Dr. Dre or Eminem, I love Dr. Dre, but I love Eminem. I would lose my shit if I was driving around in a fake LA with Eminem. That's fucking nuts. They bring up NFTs in this game. This is my last point about this, which if anybody knows what that is, I don't really, but I'm going to talk about it for a second like I do. It stands for non-fungible tokens. So this is like a digital asset that you can own, but it only exists digitally. Right now, the big thing is artwork. So people will like make a piece of art. They'll make it online. It only exists online, and they'll sell it online, and you own it online, but that's it. It doesn't exist in real life. And these things are selling for millions of dollars. People are selling digital paintings for millions of dollars. If Dr. Dre can release his music in the video game for free, what can they do in these virtual worlds, in these video games that are crossing over with actual virtual reality? We have the Oculus headset. That's pretty trippy. If it's all crossing over together, what are we going to be able to do in these virtual worlds as far as like going to hang out with certain celebrities as they, you know, let's go and get the program or the game where you walk with Chris Hemsworth to the new Avengers premiere and sit and watch the movie with him in like super duper holy fuck IMAX, all in a virtual headset that, you know, just blows you away and makes you feel like you're literally there. This $300 Oculus set from Facebook, which is like the consumer brand, it's not like the super expensive one. It is pretty trippy how like realistic it is. Imagine the one in just down the road that is a little bit more expensive, that's a little bit nicer, that makes you really feel like you're actually in that situation. I think it's pretty trippy stuff. And Grand Theft Auto's had a bunch of updates. They've been out for like 8 years, this game. But this one is different. This one I think is like a flashing light, a beacon saying, hey, this is where things are going. Artists are releasing their new, like not just some artists. Fucking Dr. Dre is releasing his new music in this digital world first. That's the first marketplace he's going to be in.
All right. I thought I could eat all of it, but I'm full.
I think she's full in more ways than one, and you probably are too. Let's take a break.
What?